All right, it says Gonzalez Manufacturing borrowed a total of $42,000. Part of the money was borrowed at 8%, we'll call that X. Part at 10%, we'll call that Y. And part at 12%, we'll call Z. So I already know X plus Y plus Z equals this total 42,000. Now it says the annual interest, so in other words, the 8% of the X amount plus the 10% of the Y amount plus the 12% of the Z amount would be 4240. And then it says the total amount for 8% and 10%. So the total for the 8% and the 10% is twice the amount of the 12%. So a couple of things I'm going to do first. I'm not going to do anything with this one. Equals 42,000. This, remember that if you're not a huge fan of decimals, I could multiply every term by 100. And why by 100? Because that's in the tenths place, that's in the hundredths place. So this will be a little nicer. I'll get 8x plus 10y plus 12z equals 42,400. And then this, I just need to move the z to the other side, so the 2z, and I get 0. Now from here, I'm ready to start my matrix. So the first row, 1, 1, 1, 42, 1, 2, 3. So that's row 1. Now I'm going to write row 2, which is 8, 10, 12, 42, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then row 3, 1, 1, negative 2, and 0. So the first thing you want to do is turn that to a 1. Magically, it already is a 1. So then the next thing you want to do is turn this 8 into a 0, and I can do that by taking negative 8 times row 1 and adding to row 2. So I'm not changing row 1, it stays the same, 42, 1, 2, 3. I am not changing row 3, 1, 1, negative 2, 0, but I am taking negative 8 times row 1 and adding it to row 2. So negative 8 times 1, negative 8 plus 8, that gives me 0. Negative 8 plus 10 gives me 2. Negative 8 plus 12 gives me 4. And then negative 8 times this business plus this business. You'll just have to trust me with a calculator. I got 88,000. All right, now I want to turn this into a 0, and I could do that by taking the negative of row 1 plus row 2. Not changing row 1, so that stays the same, 42,000. Not changing row 2, so that stays the same, 88, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm taking the negative of row 1 and adding it to row 2. So I'm going to get negative 1 plus 1, 0. Negative 1 plus 1, 0. Negative 1 plus negative 2, negative 3. And then negative 42,000 plus 0, so negative 42,000. Now from here, I can simply take the negative 1/3 of row 3, and I will leave row 1 alone, 42,000. Leave row 2 alone, 88, 1, 2, 3. And then this becomes 1 and 14,000. All right, now I'm going to do another step to get row 2 looking a little bit better. So I'm going to do 1/2 of row 2. Wasn't necessary, but I just like to have the smaller numbers, 42, 1, 2, 3. And so I'm just dividing everything by 2. So 1, 2, 44, 1, 2, 3, and again my z is solved, 14, 1, 2, 3. Now I know what z is, so remember this is my z, that I can simply take my 1y plus 2 times z equals this 44, 1, 2, 3, and solving this I get 16,000, and then finally I can use my x plus y plus z equals the 42,000, and if you solve this you get x is 12,000. So this is my 8%, this is my 10%, and this was my 12%.